This conference will now be recorded.
So if you observe the last class, last weekend, so we have done with this syntax to create an object, constructors, and instance context or instance flow, and even this keyword also we have done, right? So nothing but now we need to discuss about this static keyword, static context or static flow. These things now we need to discuss. Okay. So lastly, we discussed about this keyword. So how this keyword can be useful. So basically, it will be useful for 4 ways, and each and way we have discussed, and we have discussed some programs as well, right? But if you observe, just I have uploaded only programs and screenshots, but not yet a video. Main video is not uploaded till now. So one reason is still now I did not have any internet. I still am facing some broadband connection issues. So still it is not rectified. I already raised a request. Okay, but still I'm using only mobile hotspot. I'm taking the online classes. So but uploading the video it may take time. Okay, so maximum I want to rectify as soon as possible. So otherwise, once if I reach to my company, I will upload this video today's and day before yesterday's videos as well. Okay. So that is a thing from my side update. So let us discuss this static keyword. Everybody's getting my voice.
Yes, sure.
So static keyword. Static is a Java keyword. It will improve shareability in Java applications. In Java applications, static keyword will be utilized in the following 4 ways. One is static variables, static blocks, static methods, and static imports. Okay, static is a Java keyword. It will improve shareability in Java applications. So how it is improving shareability? So programmatically we're going to discuss later. Currently, just remember as so whenever if you are using some static keyword, so just it will improve shareability of the improve shareability within the Java applications. Okay, how we're achieving practically, we're going to discuss later. Okay, so here also same things. If you observe the static keyword, so it can be utilized in following ways. Static variables, static methods, and you don't know the about the static blocks and static imports. Okay, so let us discuss each and everything. Static variables. Static variables are normal Java variables which will be recognized and executed exactly at the time of loading the respect to class bytecode to the memory. So under the first point, static variables are normal Java variables which will be recognized and executed exactly at the time of loading the respective class bytecode to the memory. So here bytecode is nothing but, so whenever if you are doing some comparison, right? If you are executing a particular program, so let us execute some program where you are going to get some knowledge.
This conference will now be recorded.
So here within this folder, we'll have a program called as program with named as a dot Java, right? So now if you observe, so date modified 13/11/2018, 6:12 a.m. right? So we are getting a one more file with the name as a dot class. So if you open this file, right, we are unable to understand anything. We are unable to understand anything. There is nothing but what is exactly bytecode. Okay, so once if we done compilation, so here at backend we're going to get a one more file called as a dot class, which is a bytecode. So this file it will be loaded into memory. Okay, that is a meaning here. Sorry, if you observe here, which will be recognized and executed exactly at the time of loading the respective class bytecode to the memory. Once if you got this a dot class, once before, whenever the dot class file is loading into the memory, at the same time, this static variables will be recognized and executed. Okay, this is the first point. Static variables are normal Java variables. They will share their last modified values to the future objects and to the past objects of the respective class. Okay, static variables are normal Java variables. They will share the last modified values. So what are the values in which you are modifying, right? So that values it will be reflected to the what are the objects in which you are creating. Okay. In Java applications, static variables will be accessed either by using the respective class or reference variable or by using the respective class name directly. Okay, this point anyway you know. So in Java applications, static variables are always class class level variables. They never be local variables. So in Java applications, static variable values will be stored in method area. In method area. So note to access static variables, we can use the respective class reference variable, which may or may not have reference value. To access static variables, it is sufficient to take a reference variable with null value. Okay, to access static variables, we can use the respective class reference variable, which may or may not have reference value, right? So here you know what is actually this reference value. So each and every object is having some reference value, right? To access static variables, it is sufficient to take reference variable with null as a value. Okay. So for suppose if you are creating an object like this, a sum small is equal to null. Okay, by using that reference variable, we are able to access. So this, this thing we can discuss in the program as well once again. Okay, at this point of time, no need to worry. So if we access any non-static variable by using a reference variable with null value, then JVM will raise an exception like java.line dot null pointer exception. Okay, so here non-static variable means you can assume it as an instance variable. Okay, so if you are accessing a non-static variable by using reference variable with null as a value, I mean if you are defining for suppose if you're having some instance variable within a class, so we have created an object with null as a reference value. So by using this reference variable, if you're trying to access instance variable, right? So we are going to get a null pointer exception. What is the exception is here java.plan.null pointer exception. We're going to get some exception. Okay, these things we will discuss programmatically as well. Okay, at this point of time, not to worry. So in Java applications, to access current class static variables, so we can use this keyword. We can use this keyword. Okay, these are the points which comes under a static variables. Okay, so is it fine these things?
This conference will now be recorded.
Proceed. Static int equal to 10. Int j equal to 10. Just I'm creating an object. Just I'm accessing the variable. I mean static variable, not instance. So this is the same thing. Here in 17 statement, I'm accessing by using reference variable. In 18 statement, I'm accessing by using class name. So this thing we'll discuss. So here nothing. What I have done is, so what are the node points I have mentioned you here, right? So based upon this, just I have created one program. So if you observe, I mean, we are able to access static variable by using null, by using a difference variable with null as a value, and we are not able to access non-static variables. I mean, instance variables, and even we are accessing static variables by using this keyword, right? So just based upon this, just I have created one program. Okay. So let us execute first of all. Okay. So here, if you observe, nothing I have done. I have created one static variable, one instance variable, right? And I have created one method. So with, I have created one instance method here, and within that method, just I'm printing some one year and even some this dot I as well. Okay. So after that, I have created an object. I'm building this static variable value with reference variable name and even with class name. And after that, I am calling this method a.m1. Okay. So try to execute this program. So Java C test.java. See here, we got some error. Illegal sort of expression static int k is equal to 30. I mean, here we have got it. So reason is, so this is a instance variable, right? This is an instance method. So within the instance method, we are unable to define static variable values. what is important point? Within the instance method, right? We are unable to define static variable with some value. So like this, we are able to define. So that is the reason we are getting some error. Okay. So try to recompile once again. Now we don't have any errors, right? So just try to execute Java test. We have got some output, right? Okay. So now go with this scenarios as well. So now just I am creating an object with a reference variable with null as a value. Okay, with reference variable equal to null as a value. So now here based upon these node points, right? So once if we have allocated with the reference variable with null as a value, we are unable to access instance variable. That is the first thing, right? So now try to compile and try to the execute. See here, exception thread main java.lang dot null pointer exception. We're getting some exception. Okay, so generally here errors we're going to get at compilation phase and exceptions we are going to get at a runtime or execution phase here. Okay, so that is there is an exception we're getting at a runtime phase. So if you observe, so we're getting some exception as java.lang dot null pointer exception. So this is a practical proof that so once you allocate a reference variable with the null as a value, we are unable to access instance variable. We are unable to access instance variable. Now if you observe, I am accessing static variable, right? See here, we're getting some output. Mean what is the conclusion here? So same thing, what are the node points which are discussed here. So once if we allocate a reference variable with null as a value, we are able to access static variable and we are able to access instance variables. Clear this thing?
This conference will now be recorded.
Static methods. Static method is a normal Java method. It will be recognized and executed at the time when we access that method. Static methods will be accessed either by using reference variable or by using the respect to first name directly. In the case of accessing static methods by using reference variables, reference variable may or may not have object reference value. It is possible to access static methods with the reference variables having null value. Same point. Okay. So in the case of static static methods by using reference variables. So reference variable may or may not have object reference value. It is possible to access static methods with reference variables having null value. Okay, same as static variable, what we have discussed here. Static methods will allow static members of the current class. Static methods will not allow non-static members of the current class directly. So if we want to access non-static members of the current class in static methods, then we have to create an object for the current class, and we have to use the generated reference variable. Static methods will not allow this keyword in its body, but to access current class static methods, we are able to use this keyword. So here, if you observe from these last 3 points, static methods will allow static members of the current class. Static methods will not allow non-static members of the current class directly. So here within the static methods, so it will allow only static members. If we are defining some instance members, I mean instance methods are variables, it will be not allowed. That thing we'll discuss programmatically. And if you want to access non-static members, I mean instance variables of the current class in static methods, then we have to create an object for the current class and we have to access to the generated reference variable. Okay, so here within the static methods, right, if you want to print some instance variable value or if you want to access instance variable, so within that method we need to create an object. Okay, then only we are able to access this instance variable here. So this thing also we'll discuss programmatically. Okay, and here if you observe the last point, static methods will not allow this keyword in its body, but to access current class static methods we are able to use this keyword. Okay, static methods will not allow this keyword in its body, but to access, okay, within the static method, right? So if you want to access some instance variables, instance variable anyway accessing is not possible. If you want to access some static variables, so this by using this keyword it is not possible, but you can call the static methods by using this keyword. That is the meaning of this last point. Okay,
This conference will now be recorded.
so if you observe here, right, I have defined one instance variable and one static variable, and I have created one static method and one instance method. Okay, and I'm creating an object I'm accessing. So first uncomment these things. So try to comment this now. So Java C test1 dot Java. See here, we got some error. If you observe test1 dot Java ninth line. So it is a ninth line. This is a thing. Okay. So non-static variable. Okay, non-static variable I cannot be referenced from static context. So if you observe this system.out.println I, right? I is nothing but an instance variable which is having some value. So what is the meaning of this error is nothing but, I mean, you can also easily understand non-static variable I cannot reference from static context. I mean, simply we can say that instance variable we're unable to access, or we are able to print the value of instance variable within the static method. That is the meaning, right? So try to comment this one first of all. So now one error will be gone. We are having one more error at the Java 10th line. Non-static variable, this cannot be referenced from a static context, right? I already told you within this point. So within the body of static method, we are unable to use this keyword. This is a one more thing. So now try to recompare once again. Okay, now we don't have any errors. We're getting some output as well, right? Fine. Now, so here nothing we have done. Just we have created an object and we are accessing that respective method. And one more thing, this also very important. So here, if I want to print some instance variable value within the static method, so how can we print? So we need to create an object. So this thing we have discussed. So here, if you want to access non-static variables of the current class in static method, then we have to create an object for the current class. So that is the reason here I have created an object for the current class. Okay, we have to access the generated reference variable. So here, just I have created an object. I am accessing the instance variable value. Okay, fine. So now here, what I have done, I am making this till now it is having some value. I mean, it is a reference variable which is having some reference value. So once if I'm creating like this statement, I mean a equal to null, what is going to happen? So it don't have any reference value, but this respect to object. We can say that reference variable with null as a value, right? So now by using this, we are able to access a dot m1 or not. Just we are checking. See here, this is the practical thing. Means even though if you are, even though if you are allocating reference variable with null as a value, we are able to access static method. Okay, so this thing is common. Just we are accessing the static method by using class name. That thing you know already. Same thing. Okay. So is this points and is this program is fine, all of you?
Yes, Siva. Good.
Simple, nothing but here whatever the points in which I am presenting, same thing just I am presenting in the programming practically. Okay, that thing you need to get it.